to Audio Biography, the podcast, where we talk about the music that changed our lives and yours. I'm your host, Richie. With me's Clint.
Good evening, buddy.
Hey, man. And we've also got another third-time guest. This is 2 weeks in a row with a third-time guest. So Josh is back with us. And he now ties Andrew Scotchy with 3 guest appearances. And, of course, there's going to be many more for both of you, I hope. But, yeah, I got to talk to Josh one-on-one. I hope everybody enjoyed that episode. We had fun recording it. And recently, our last episode, 1977 with Andrew Scotchy. Clint, did you have a good time on that one?
Oh, it's always a good time with Andrew. He had some picks that were off my radar. And so that's always fun.
It seems like a theme with our guests.
Yeah, Josh here just likes to throw us off our game, and that's okay. We need a little variety here.
Yeah. Well, we're doing 1978, and let's just get started. Let's just dive right in. We'll cut all the bull, and Clint's going to lead us off.
Okay. My number 5 pick. This is another hard year. Y'all tired of us saying that, but there's lots of great music. This is a wonderful transition year, lots of good music to choose from. My number 5 is the debut album from Toto. It is my favorite Toto album. Quite easily, actually, to be honest with you. I love Toto 4. I mean, who doesn't? But, man, this one is, it rocks from beginning to finish for me. It rocks, and it's got some feels in there. If somebody just come up to you and said, "You supply the night," you're going to respond back and tell them that you'll supply the love. Anyway, that's a great song on there. I do have a beef with the song on the album.
Okay.
And it's a Steve Lukather song, which I love Steve Lukather very much. He's an awesome guitar player. He's a great singer, actually.
Yeah, very underrated.
Georgie Porgy. If that song was about half the length it was, it'd be fine. In fact, I'd like to donate the other half of that time to Cream so they could finish Badge, because that was too short. I'm going to always die on that hill.
Hang on. Before you get past Georgie Porgy, it's a really good song. It's
excellent. It's an excellent song.
So you don't like 3 minutes of Jow Jay?
Oh my God, it's so bad.
You don't like 3 minutes of that?
No, I don't, Rich. Do you?
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I vaguely remember that song from when I was growing up, but I got reminded of it in the late 80s. MC Lyte, rapper, she had a song called Poor Georgie that samples that song.
Oh,
and
really?
So then I was like, wait, I've heard that song before. So I go back into my records and I was like, oh yeah, it's on that Toto album. So anyway, I think it's funny that you have the same beef that probably everybody does, but I'll let you continue.
Oh yeah. But when I say the first half of it is like, it could end right after Lukather's solo. That's just a smooth solo. Man, he's got the smoothest guitar solos. And the thing about Toto that probably not a lot of people know, those are all studio musicians. David Hungate, is that his name? The bassist? How many bands did he play for? He was on Boz Scaggs' Silk Degrees album. He played with Steely Dan, probably. Or did he play with Steely Dan? Maybe not. Can't remember all the other bands he collaborated with. And Porcaro Brothers. Is it Jeff is the drummer? He's an amazing drummer. It's a Girl Goodbye, great song, great drum work. But it has, so it's got one of those perfect songs, and that's Hold the Line. That song's perfect. I wouldn't change 1 second of that song, and I've always loved that song. I learned about that song playing Vice City, Grand Theft Auto.
I love it.
And it's a great album. So I'll stop talking. Y'all share some comments.
I had this album growing up because I guess either my mom or dad had it. We played it a lot. Child's Anthem that opens it, the instrumental, they open most of their live shows with that. Still do. When I saw them last year, they opened with that. It's a cool way to open a show. But obviously, we talked about Georgie Porgy. It's a good song, great groove, all that. I'll Supply the Love. That's a good one, just a rocker. But Girl Goodbye, man, that's probably my favorite song on this album, other than Hold the Line. Just must be in the way that just the vocals in that one. It's really amazing. But I'm just going to Hold the Line. Really good song. But this is the first time Toto's come up in this series, so I'm just going to. It's my first time to talk about real fast, and then I'm going to throw it to Josh. Steve Lukather is the best. He's the best. He makes my top three, and at times my number one guitar player ever. And most people don't know who he is when you say his name. They don't know until you say what he's played and what he's played on. And Lionel Richie, the Can't Slow Down album, Running with the Night. Obviously, Michael Jackson Thriller. Basically, that's a Toto album with Michael Jackson singing as far as a lot of the instrumentation goes. So anytime I get a chance to sing the praises of Steve Lukather, I'm going to do it. Everybody, go listen to Toto. Look up Steve. Look up YouTube videos of him just talking about music and stuff. Cool guy. Great story. So, Josh, what do you think about this debut album by Toto?
I know you guys love Toto. I like Toto. They played the day after my birthday. Wanted to try to go see it. I love their music. I think they make great music. Obviously, for this album, Hold the Line was a great one for me. I'll Supply the Love is really good. I kind of liked Rockmaker. I think it's kind of a cool song. Toto didn't make my list. I think my list is kind of eclectic. I was born in 78. I think the music that comes out in this year kind of shapes where I was in my youth, which is a little bit different than Toto. I never knew that those guys were basically the Thriller album, but I was a huge Michael Jackson guy growing up. Loved Billie Jean, loved Thriller, all that stuff from early MJ, and then got into the Jackson 5 because of it. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Human Nature was by one of the Picaros. I can't remember which one, probably Steve. And of course, the riff to Beat It. That's Steve Lukather wrote that. And then, of course, Eddie Van Halen plays the guitar solo on that. But anyway, yeah, these dudes they're prolific. You can just about name an album in the 70s or 80s, and one of them, it's a good chance one of them played on it, if not multiple. Awesome. You could pick, Clint. I can't get Girl Goodbye out of my head now.
I mean, his worst songs you get stuck in your head.
Cool. All right, we'll move on to my number 5 pick, which is Outlandos d'Amour, Outlaws of Love by The Police. This is their debut album. Obviously, we all know Roxanne. Clint, are you going to do it?
You don't have to turn out that red light. Turn on the red light. Whatever. Something about a red light.
Yeah.
So my dad was...
Say sorry.
I like silly Clint.
Oh, I'm glad that's your favorite Clint.
Oh, yeah. My dad was a really big Police fan, so I heard them growing up a lot. And then I had a stepdad that was a fan too. I didn't like him very much, but he liked the Police. Like I said, we all know Roxanne. It's just an all-time earworm. Everybody knows it. Just one of those songs. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. It's not even that good. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
For me, the standout on this record that I actually remember when I was a kid and Dad playing the record and thinking, man, that's a cool song, is Can't Stand Losing You. Roxanne was the only single that was released in the United States. And then So Lonely and Can't Stand Losing You were released in the UK only, which I thought was weird. I've always thought of Can't Stand Losing You and So Lonely as hits, but they weren't hits here. But they do show up on a lot of greatest hits. Anyway, UK singles, they were probably pretty highly rated there. But no, Can't Stand Losing You, and for me, it's the bass line. It's just, and of course, Stuart Copeland. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Me and Clint have a friend, Ima. I put this album on here just for the Ima story. I remember we had all gone on some trip somewhere together, like a weekend guy trip. And in the car on the way back, for some reason, Ima starts this conversation rant about how Stuart Copeland is the most overrated drummer ever.
What?
Josh, Clint will tell you, I was incredulity was seeping out of my
Not even the
pores.
best. That's not even the best Stuart Copeland story about Iva.
Oh, I'll let you tell a better one. But I just remember sitting in the back seat of a car, driving back from God knows where. Like, we took trips, Clint, that I literally probably don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
it's probably a little fuzzy.
But anyway, I just remember having this huge argument in the back seat. And I think Ernie and you and Ernie were in the front seat. I don't know. It had to be us4.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That,
For-
you know, it could have been one of the Knoxville trips back to Kingsport. I don't know.
It probably,
All right. So just a little background on Ima. We've talked about him before, but he's like the originator of he's the original hot take time machine. He just loves hot takes and he will not back off.
and that's a
Like-
piping hot take right there.
I know
Yeah.
it's red hot.
He's gonna die on that hill.
Oh my God. I'm trying to get him to
Man.
visit sometime because I can't even explain him. I grew up next to him. He's my next door neighbor growing up. He's a month older than me. So he's practically like my brother. But the funniest thing was he had a blog and he'd write the craziest shit on his blog. So he created the awards that were a homage to Stuart Copeland called the Stewies. And then he'd give the award out to people that probably got fame and they didn't deserve fame. Like people thought they were great, but they weren't great. So it was all based on his hatred for Stuart Copeland. He would just go off about Stuart Copeland.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
On the other hand, I love him. I think he's an outstanding
Great.
drummer.
Yeah, for sure.
What's amazing about him is basically he's got a couple of tin cans and maybe a hi-hat, and that's all he's got, and that's all he needs, man.
Yeah.
Maybe a bass drum, whatever. That's all we got. He'll make it work.
So the last thing I'll say about this record, and then you guys can talk, and it involves Stuart Copeland because it's the only song he co-wrote on it and did it with Sting, and it's the song Peanuts.
Yeah.
And it's about Rod Stewart was like his hero, his idol, but this song's about him falling out of favor with Rod Stewart because Rod Stewart was not like the guy that he knew from the Faces. He was this blonde sex symbol pop icon now. And Sting says that he wrote the song and hoped that he would never turn into that. And then he turned into that. But apparently he looks back at that song now and doesn't really, it doesn't mean what it did anymore. And he changed his mind about Rod Stewart to the point that they sang together a bunch.
Exactly what I was thinking about. No, it was
I know it was Brian.
Adams.
Anyway, it seems like something Rod Stewart
Some other
would do.
dude.
Wow.
Anyway, I just thought that was really interesting that this young whippersnapper Sting, who still has all of his scruples and he's not been tainted by celebrity, is going to write this song about how he's upset with Rod Stewart for becoming a celebrity. And then we see what happens after Sting leaves the police. It's hilarious. So anyway, this record is one that I play a lot because I don't know, once or twice a year, I'll go through and play all of my Police records just back to back to back. It may take me a couple of days, but so it's just one that's always there. The other records are going to show up for me for sure. But yeah, it's just good stuff. And again, like Josh was saying earlier, this was a weird turning point year and things started to change. You mentioned it too, Clint, and this is part of it. Like when we go through this list, it's just amazing how different some stuff is, but then I don't know, we'll talk about it. What do you guys think about this record?
Well, I do like Roxanne. I really like the movie Moulin Rouge, and I like the way that they did it in Moulin Rouge. It's kind of tango-y.
I've never watched Moulin Rouge.
Really?
No, I guess I need to.
Did you watch the weird Romeo and Juliet with Claire Danes and
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio. So you know how that was very musical. It's the same director.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of the same vibe, but Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor's take on Your Song, I think, is pretty good in that movie. It's got some good tracks.
Cool.
But yeah, you mentioned Peanuts. I like that song. I guess I didn't realize that it was about Rod Stewart. I'll have to give it another listen and kind of keep that in mind as I listen to it. But yeah, overall, I enjoy The Police. I thought this was a good first album. I think they have better music down the road for sure,
Yep.
but solid first attempt.
I'm just going to piggyback on that comment. So I'm a huge Police fan, and this one would be just outside looking in my top 5. I really love So Lonely, Next to You. And yeah, I don't want to say that Roxanne has been Lenny Kravitz, to use a term Josh has sprung on us. It's been played a lot.
I think it's been
Yeah,
Kravitz.
Yeah.
It's been Kravitz.
But yeah, this is the beginning for them. I literally can't wait to talk about some of their later works because they're one of my favorite bands because of the later works. But this is a great foundation, a great start to their career. Good pick, Rich.
Yeah, man. All right. Now Josh is going to take us in a totally different direction here.
So-
What's your number 5?
So my number 5 is Kraftwerk, the Man Machine. German band, got together early 70s. This isn't, West Germany.
Mm-hmm.
These guys basically, in my opinion, I think a lot of people think they're kind of like the godfathers of electronica or electronic dance music. When I listened to this, we talked about Pink Floyd last time I was on. And when I listen to this, I think about Welcome to the Machine from Wish You Were Here. And I feel like these guys were listening to that and then decided to make an album about what it would be like in the machine. So it's really funky. There's only 6 tracks, but they're kind of longer. Neon Lights is really good. Just thinking about the tracks that are on there, they all start out very electric, synthesizers, cool beats, and then you get some lyrics in some of it, not in all of it. The Model is pretty cool. I think it reminds me of a track, The Rhythm of the Model, that's on the Sing Street soundtrack. It's very kind of Asian sounding to me, but digital. And it's just a kind of a far out album. I told you guys dance music is kind of my guilty pleasure. I got into Daft Punk when I was younger, and that kind of spawned into some other stuff. It's always been rock first and foremost, but pop and EDM, I kind of have a soft spot for. So, and this is kind of, I think for me, a great album, just a really cool listen. Have you guys ever listened to it prior to this?
I know I've heard them in movies and stuff, but until this, I've never sat down and listened on purpose. But I've listened through twice. I really enjoyed it. The Man Machine, that's the one that really got me the most. I like the way it starts. It feels like a movie song, like a lot of that synth does, because it got used so much in movies into the 80s. And I know that they were a little bit before, but kind of contemporaries with Gary Newman, who also did a lot of synthesizer and electronic stuff. And I know much more about him. I enjoy it because I have a lot of playlists that are synthwave stuff. Some of it's just stuff that schlubs like me create, but it's pretty good, and you just put it on when you're working or something. And there's none of that without this. There's no Daft Punk without them, obviously, I don't think. I think that they were very important. It's pretty amazing that this isn't even their first record, right? They got started like the early 70s. And of course, Roxy Music, who I'm a fan of, was doing some of that stuff too, but they were flirting with it. But these guys were already doing it. When I think back, it doesn't make sense that they were doing this in the early mid 70s. It doesn't compute to me for some reason. Of course, I also feel like the 90s were 10 years ago. So it's time's a
enough.
weird thing. It's funny. Like when I was listening to this, Clint, you'll get a kick out of this. I don't even remember which song it was, but one of them, it's just, I immediately started thinking about Temporary Secretary by Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Because McCartney on McCartney 2, which is
Mhm.
80? Yeah.
80.
It's 2 years from now. That's his electronic album.
Yeah.
Most of it is electronic. And so it's him kind of doing his Gary Newman, Kraftwerk sort of stuff, like experimental, very experimental for him. And there's some good stuff on there. It's really weird, especially because it's him. But it made me think. So I thought, oh, maybe Paul was doing that thing kind of okay. If I heard like the Masters doing it and it invoked him a little, in my head. Anyway, Temporary. I just get a kick out of that song, but
That's
no,
got some really good lyrics to it. But
this is just like me and Clint say a lot. Now I've got homework to do to go back and kind of go through and listen, because I can totally sit and work to this music without a doubt.
I think this replaces the Sirius XM chill station for me. I'm just going to listen to Kraftwerk while I work now.
Yeah, no, it's that kind of music for me. It's like synth wave stuff really just gets me in a good mood.
So, full disclosure, I never listened to this. I mean, I've maybe heard a Kraftwerk song or two previously, but I've never listened to this album before today. And just listening as it started from the beginning, but the first track, The Robots, I heard Depeche Mode. I heard some of the heavy synth work with Genesis. So those are the things I thought, Josh, you nailed it. The first track, and other tracks too, but I swear I think I hear the same sounds from Welcome to the Machine. I'm not saying they copied it, but it sounds very similar. The machine sounds you hear at the beginning of that song, I swear I heard almost exactly that in some of these songs, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, it's not something I could consume. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is something I could consume daily because, like I listen to music at work a lot while I'm working, but most music can be distracting sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, podcasts. Well, not this podcast. If you listen to this podcast, you will be super productive, get all your work done, meet all your deadlines. But other podcasts, they may be distracting. But this music, sometimes you just want some music. You just got some shit you got to get done. You just want some background noise. This would be perfect for it. And I'm not saying that's all it is, but music is something different to everybody. And I thought the same thing Rich thought. I'm like, man, this would be just good background music and just kind of good chill music. So good pick.
Yeah, I like it. And again, it inspires me to listen more to something that I've not listened to much. All right, Clint, number 4.
Number 4. All right, we're going to hit some commonality here. That would be the debut album from Van Halen, not Van Hagar, the Van Halen, the original. No substitutes. Although I do like some Van Hagar also.
Yeah.
See, this album's amazing. It's like they were shot out of a cannon with their hair on fire. Ooh, and your first track to start your musical career is Running with the Devil, into Eruption, into You Really Got Me, into You Ain't Talking About Love. I don't know what else to tell you if you don't like Van Halen after listening to those first 4 songs of the first album. I've always liked Van Halen. It goes back to my Uncle Mark. He was a huge Van Halen fan. He painted his guitar with the red with the black and white stripes on it, like Eddie had. I don't know when Eddie started doing that. Maybe the early 80s.
I think that was 1984 album.
It's from the 1984 album.
The Frankenstrat.
Yeah. So Van Halen's just always been there for me. But this is an excellent album for me. I've listened to it a lot. I just bought it on vinyl a few weeks ago. Even more enjoyable that way. I'm going to turn it to you, Rich. What do you got to say about it?
So we've covered 4 albums so far. Yeah. And 3 of them are debuts already. And there's another debut coming, another big one. This was my number 2. I've got it up there pretty high. I've always been a Van Halen fan, whether it's Dave or Sammy. I have generally tended towards the Van Halen side as the best side. The longer that David Lee Roth stays alive and keeps being David Lee Roth, that starts to change just because that guy's a psycho. And apparently he's always been that way. But when it comes to a rock and roll debut album, it's hard to beat this, man. That first side is just crazy, crazy good. You guys have heard the isolated vocal on Running with the Devil, right? It's so great. Just all the noises that you don't realize he's making until you take everything out. My brother and I, we do those noises just randomly all the time. I think Atomic Punk's a really good song. I know you're talking about the dip after the first side, but of course Jamie's Crying's great. I think Atomic Punk's a really good song too.
Oh, it is.
But yeah, Ice Cream Man, you could take that off the record as far as I'm concerned. I can't stand that. That's like the first red flag with David Lee Roth right there. It's a cover, and of course they do it in their style, but it's just dripping with David Lee Roth corn. I mean, it's so corny. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. But I think Eruption's really overrated when it comes to instrumental guitar solo stuff. That's just me. I know it's pretty cool. He's breaking a lot of ground there, but
is that a hot take?
No, it's fairly hot, I think. I mean,
it's a steaming hot take.
I don't know. The eyes on my oven, there's low, medium. It's like medium high.
All right. No, I get it. No,
I think other people agree with that now, but it's innovative. But anyway,
it's iconic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If anything, it's that.
But yeah, I put this at number 2, so it's pretty high for me. That's all I got to say. It's great. Running with the Devil is one of the greatest rock and roll songs ever. So let's go. What do you think, Josh?
So, is Van Halen the greatest American rock band?
I think so. For me, they are. It's not Aerosmith. Yeah, for me, it's Van Halen.
I agree.
I know that's a kind of a neck and neck, and I'm not a huge Aerosmith fan, so that's why they fall out for me. But it's close. I just think they're better.
I know they went through some later iterations after David Lee Roth. Hager was good with them. I think Aerosmith's later stuff kind of tainted their longevity or whatever, however you want to say it, their overall. I love Van Halen. The music's great. This is a great album. Like you said, of debuts on our list so far, and we got more to go. I think, man, Running with the Devil, there's a lot of great songs on this album, and they just rock. Like, they go hard.
Yes, absolutely.
Go hard or go home.
Yep.
What she said.
All
That's
right.
what they
say. So yeah, that's one of those that I don't have to say much more. It's just great, and we all know that it is. So let's go ahead and run right into mine. This year's model by Elvis Costello, and this is 2 years in a row now for me with Elvis. It kind of goes with the theme of this 1978 stuff. I won't spoil Josh's next pick, but it's in the same vein to me, obviously. This is a year where, like, punk rock has already made its mark, and it's influencing everybody else that's weird. That's how I kind of think of it. Like, everybody else that's off the beaten track, everybody else is different. It's not reaction to it. It's just like adjacent. It's like right there with it. So if you don't know the song Pump It Up, you actually do, and you just don't know that you know it. It's been everywhere. Movies, TV shows, commercials. It is such a good song. It's Elvis Costello at his most accessible. It's one of his most accessible songs, I think, if you like rock and roll music. But the whole record, and I'm not going to go track by track because I don't want to bore anybody. I just want to say I put him on my list last year and this year because more people need to know about him. More people need to listen to this music. I think when it comes to people who are nerdy about music, we have him properly rated. But when it
Mhm.
comes to people who are casual about music, completely, utterly underrated. I just want people to understand this guy knows how to write songs. He knows how to write music. He's one of the best. Paul McCartney sought him out for a record for that very fact. We'll talk about that in 1989, I'm sure. So, anyway, listen to Elvis Costello, please. Sometimes it's hard to get past his voice, I know, but you can do it. We've all had to do it with somebody. Yeah, Getty is the number one offender there. I would also say the guy in your next pick, too, for me. He's got a bit
Yeah,
of an odd voice. Yeah.
it's different for
Yeah.
sure.
This is the album to listen to. It really, really is, especially from the 70s with him. Clint, what do you think?
That's a great pick. I've always been just a casual fan of Elvis Costello and the Attractions. You talking about him and how much you love his music, I'm going to listen to that. It's the same way with Roxy Music. I took a deeper dive, and it's just, I don't know why more people don't know him or don't listen to his music, because you made a accurate statement. He's an excellent songwriter. His songs are catchy. They're well written. They rock. They are interesting. What's there not to love? I just,
Well, he didn't look like what was on the radio.
Okay,
It's a
if you
lot
just
of
look-
it, I think.
right. Okay. If you look at this album cover now,
It's
Rich,
amazing. That's a great album cover.
it's a great album cover, but dude, you go into any microbrewery or fancy ass coffee shop, there's going to be like 5 dudes that look like Elvis Costello now, and nobody thinks anything of it.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of why he did-
Hipsters.
Yeah. Hipster doofuses.
We like them.
Yeah.
They're getting their frou-frou caramel latte with the whatever. I don't know.
They're mochaccino IPAs.
Yeah.
Orange mocha frappuccino.
Frappuccino. Look, if that dude ordered that Frappuccino, but he could write songs, you drink all that Frappuccino, you can, man.
Oh, I forgot one thing.
What?
Also, people, if you don't listen to anything else on this album, like I said, you already know Pump It Up. You just don't know. Listen to I Don't Want to Go to Chill. Listen to that song. Okay. All right.
You're pleading with them.
Oof.
Are
They're
you
missing
begging?
out. Man, I hate it when people miss out on something good.
Man,
Josh,
some good
when-
drum work
when
on
did,
this song too.
When did Costello change his name to Elvis Costello?
It was like 70, early 70s when he was first getting going. Because I said this on the last podcast for the 1977, like, why would you change your name from Declan McManus? That's just an awesome name. But I know there's a story,
Right.
and I can't remember it offhand right now, but he went through different names. Like he was Elvis McManus, and then he was like all these, and then he finally settled on Elvis Costello. But I want to say it was like 73 before he broke on his first album, obviously, because that's what he started out as. But it was just like his in the band that he was in before that. But yeah, go look that up. There's a story to it.
I'm trying to read a little bit right now. I think it's funny. There's a guy that he was playing with named Pete Thompson, who was formerly in a band called Chili Willy and the Red Hot Peppers. I wonder if that's possibly where Red Hot Chili Peppers got their name.
I don't know, but that's got trademark violations everywhere. You got Chili Willy
I
the
would-
Penguin, so they're ripping that off. You got Red Hot Chili Peppers ripping.
This goes back to a text message thread we had.
This is true. This is one of those I'm gonna have to go do my homework. I like Elvis Costello, but I never really did a deep dive on him. Yeah, I got work to do.
Okay, you won't be let down.
All right, fair enough.
All right, it's time for your number 4, which I think goes very well next to Elvis.
Yeah, so my number 4 is Television Adventure. I believe it's their sophomore album. Doesn't get the same recognition as their first album. I like it. The title track for me is solid. Glory, the first song on the album, is really good. Carried Away is really good. You're right. His voice is a little bit different. I like the energy that they have. And this is one of those groups that came out of the CBGB scene in the late 70s. They played one of their first shows, kind of became a staple there for a little while. They were there around the same time that Iggy and Blondie were playing and the Ramones. So kind of all in that same vein. We talk about the changing vibe that's going on in 78. Disco is still present, but it's dying off. Although the day I was born, Saturday Night Fever was the #1 album in April, the soundtrack. So disco wasn't quite dead yet. But yeah, I think there was this whole thing about things changing and getting a little bit weird, people taking different approaches on music. And I think for me, this is a great example. I think most of the albums that I have on my list for top 5 are very much like that, right? Like different vibe, kind of changing gears, going in different directions. For me, I really enjoy this album.
I love Glory as the opener. That's a really good song. And it's a really good opening song. I'm not as familiar with them as I probably should be. I know the debut album much better because I had a friend that just bananas about it. And
Yeah.
got to listen to this. Kind of like I'm doing with Elvis Costello, I guess. So what I like about when I listen to this, and I try to listen to all of these, if I don't know them well, at least twice before we all meet, and I did. It is so familiar, and the reason it's so familiar, I think, is because you can hear their music in all the decades later. I can hear some 80s people, I can hear some 90s stuff, but it's just them being obviously influenced by television. They're one of those bands that when groups and artists get interviewed, they drop this name, right? It's like they're pretty important to a lot of artists out there. And it's easy to go back to music like this that you didn't listen to when you were a kid and enjoy it because you've actually been listening to it all along through everybody down the line. And I enjoyed this album a lot. And like I said, listened to it twice through. I've got a couple of playlists and they fit really well on one. And I stuck Glory and Carried Away on it and Days. Yeah. I stuck those on. So that'll be in a rotation now of playlists that I play a lot.
Days is the track that stuck out to me. And you just said something. You can hear some 80s and hear some 90s.
Now I can hear Wilco in some of this stuff.
Okay, you can hear Wilco. I can hear Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
Days.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't put my finger on it until you said that. When you just said 90s, and then I played Days again, and I instantly thought of Gin Blossoms. So that's really cool. I've got to take a deeper dive. But yeah, this sounds like so much of the music I love in different eras.
Yeah.
You mentioned Wilco. God, yeah. The guitar playing. Jeff Tweedy had to have been influenced by these guys. Definitely the album before Marquee Moon, that song, the noodling, I don't know what you call that when they're just just a little riff they had on there. That sounded like Wilco to me.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just so cool to listen to bands that are way ahead of their time. Or they seem odd at the time, but become so influential. It may never be like a headliner, but very influential. So yeah, I could see that about this band. I love the pick.
Yeah, this is an example of music that I probably couldn't listen to while I'm working because I'd get too interested.
Yeah.
But that means it's good in a different way. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check out more of their stuff now. So as it stands, I'm really only familiar with their first 2 albums. I don't know. How long were they around?
I think till 84, 80.
Okay.
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah, so maybe a couple more albums or so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check out the rest of that. All right, Clint. Yeah,
Great.
one more thing.
Apparently they put something out in the early 90s, but
Oh,
I'll have to look and see. Man, it could be just the greatest hits album.
we'll jump back together for a minute. Or greatest hits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like it was. It looks like 3 albums. 4 albums.
Okay.
Number 3, Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town. So, first thing, with the cool name of an album, Bruce, dude, you could have done better with this album cover. What the hell is this? You're in the kitchen somewhere with some nice floral print behind you, and you just woke up out of bed, it looks like. There's some nice beige blinds behind you. What is this?
I think Bruce he never cared as long as he was on the cover. And he didn't care if it was his face or his ass, as long as he's on the cover.
That's good. I have no
Face or his
comeback
ass.
for
That's-
that.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's pretty good, Rich. But despite that, this is such a terrific album. So I thought 1975 episode with Born to Run. So it took him a long time to get this one out because Bruce is kind of a perfectionist.
Mhm.
And I really think he agonizes about the songs he writes, about how it sounds. Probably puts himself through hell trying to do it, puts the rest of the band through hell, but they stick in there with him. To me, there's so much different sounds on this album. Some of it's really raw. He is a great storyteller. I talk about that a lot with Bruce, but that's the way I feel about his music. He's able to tell stories about different people and try to see it through their lens, and he does a great job. But first track, Badlands, that's one of his best songs. Just go read the lyrics. The lyrics are fantastic. Adam Raised a Cain. That's such a great title to a song. And, Raising Cain, what that meant. And then you see the way it's spelled, that's spelled like, Cain from the Old Testament. So, that's what he meant. That's what that saying means. Anyway, that's so Bruce for him to do that. Something in the Night just starts out with this great piano concerto or is it concerto? I don't know. What do they call that, Rich? Concerto.
Concerto. Yeah, concerto.
All right, you will drag me into culture, okay? Go kicking and screaming. Racing in the Street, love that song. The real gem of the album is the last song on the album is Darkness on the Edge of Town. Those lyrics move me. They make me feel things. Everything about that song is fantastic. If you've never listened to that song, if you even like a couple of Bruce songs, most people that know Bruce's hits, they may not know that song, but go listen to that song. It is so beautifully written and just emotionally, just take your heart out of your chest, stomp on it, and shove it back in your heart and rip it back out and do it again and again and again. Okay. What do y'all think about this one?
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I love The Boss. He's my second favorite artist from New Jersey, behind Pete Yorn. Sorry, Bruce. Yeah, I love Streets of Fire, Darkness on the Edge of Town. You're absolutely right. I love Bruce Springsteen. Obviously, he's had a long and lengthy career. Badlands is great. You talked about a lot of the great songs on there. Great lyrics, great storyteller. Yeah, I think this is a really great album. For me, I think just where I am musically, this would be an honorable mention for me because I do like this album a lot. But if you look at my top 5 minus number 5, you can kind of see a trend of where they're all falling together. And this is a little bit different, not better or worse, just different from kind of the trajectory of where I am musically in this year. But yeah, there's some really great songs on this album.
Yeah, I obviously, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I am a recent convert into the world of Bruce Springsteen. Start to finish, it's really good. The highlight for me too, Clint, is Darkness on the Edge of Town. I'm a sucker for songs about hard luck losers. There's some amazing lines in that song. I think my favorite, maybe, now some folks are born into a good life and other folks get it anyway, anyhow. That's so good. I don't even need to talk about the rest. Just give me those two lines and I can really think on that, you know? And that's what I'm learning that I like about Bruce Springsteen so much is I can just take pieces. You can take a song and it's got so many little tasty pieces in it to think about because he's that good of a writer and I just never realized it. Remember when you're in high school and you're having to break down poems and stuff and you've got to find the meanings and this, that, and the other, and you hated it because that's just how we were in high school. Unless you didn't hate it, but I just wasn't into it. But that's like what you can do with lyrics like this. Try and drill into it and figure it out. And even if you don't really figure it out, you're just better for it, you know?
Oh, it's just this song, Darkness on the Edge of Town, is poetry
Yeah, it's so good.
through and through.
I love the pick. And like I told you before with Born to Run, if we did this list 5 years from now, this record may get into my top 5 for this year. But I'm still new to it. Still got to hold on to some of my blankies, my little security.
Okay, man.
Good record, good pick.
Thank you.
My third pick, and it's on all of our lists, is More Songs About Buildings and Food, Talking Heads. I'm pretty sure the Talking Heads are just about always going to be in the list somewhere. Usually, you're going to find it in both of me and Clint's lists. I would have never heard this record when I was growing up. I'm going to say that a lot about, until we get to MTV, I didn't know who Talking Heads were until I saw Once in a Lifetime on MTV and then Burning Down the House. And she was, and all the videos, I didn't know them. So years later, when I went back, we talked about this with 77, just like they hit the ground running and they were the Talking Heads. Like, already, done deal. And I don't have a complaint about anything on this record. Not at all. It's just one of those that once it goes on, I'm listening to it all. And their version of Take Me to the River is on this record. And I am a huge Reverend Al Green fan. And I probably like this version better. And especially this version done in Stop Making Sense. David Byrne has this fascination or this tension or whatever you want to call it with religion. And it worms its way through a lot of this album, actually, and all of them, but we're talking about this one specifically. Like when I think about that, I'm like, man, he put Take Me to the River on this record towards the end for a reason. And later, we're going to get to Once in a Lifetime, the song and associated record. There's that religious tension thing. He's basically playing the part of a Pentecostal preacher in that song and does it amazingly well and so entertaining. But it's so funny that somebody that, I don't know how spiritual he is. I know that he's not much for religion. But this song is as spiritual as Al Green. And I hate that for me, a cover is a highlight, but it's almost not even a cover. It's very, very different. If you go back and listen to Al Green, it almost doesn't seem like the same song in a lot of ways. But, and Clint, you're chomping, so we'll just tag team here because this is actually higher up in the list for you. Where did you have it?
Number 1.
That's what I thought.
Funny story. I want to interject. So I love all of the stuff you're saying about Take Me to the River. And I do think, yeah, it's not even, I love that. I don't even want to call it a cover either because he takes it and creates something just so much more out of it. Or they do it as a band. But funny story about the first track on the album. Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, which I love. I love the way the album starts out. But Rich came to town, visit me in Columbus. last summer in August, right? Or September, something like that.
Yeah, September.
And Stop September. Okay. Stop Making Sense was in the theaters. And he and I went during the day, like a matinee show, grabbed a beer, grabbed some lunch right across from the theater in Easton. We went in there, we're all giddy. There's probably 10 other people in there. It wasn't a lot of people, but everybody, you could tell everyone was really excited to see it. Everybody's into it. But right when the song started, Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, Rich just takes off. And I'm like, oh, he's going to the bathroom. Damn it, that's a good idea. I think I'll go too. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm standing next to Rich at the urinal, and Rich goes, dude, I had this planned out. This was my go to the bathroom song.
Was
All right,
not-
I just thought that was a funny story.
But it wasn't easy to pick one, right? Because
No, it's not.
So you had to be like, I know I'm going to have to go to the bathroom at some point because we had beers first,
Yes.
and I'm going to, and so I'm thinking through Stop Making Sense, which I've watched many times and listened to
Right.
many times. I'm like, I think it's going to be Thank You for Sending Me an Angel when I'm going to jump up and go.
And I just followed you, and we made it back. I heard the last part of it, and we were all good.
That is a good story.
That is not a comment on the song. I
No.
love the song. I actually, that's such a highlight to that because he's by himself for Psycho Killer, and he brings on Tina for Heaven, and then Chris comes on drum kit for Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, and then Jerry comes on for Found a Job, which is also on this album.
Yeah.
I could talk for days about the Talking Heads.
Yeah.
And they've only really become a top 5 band for me in the past 2 years. And it's just been an awesome journey. Their music's like a drug to me. It's something that I didn't even know how much I loved it. And then I got into it and I'm like, oh my God, this is a revelation. And
You're hooked.
yeah, and this album, Warning Sign, With Our Love and the Good Thing, the first side's so good. But yeah, but you got Take Me to the River. And then I love the Big Country, the end of the album.
Oh,
Well, that's a good
yeah.
song.
Yep.
They just keep getting better and better. It's amazing. Just great work. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I have this album as my number 2. I'm a huge Talking Heads fan. I love Al Green, and I think this is a completely different song. I agree with you guys on that. Big Country is probably my second favorite track on the album. I don't know. David Byrne's a genius. I don't know.
That's an
I feel
ice
like-
cold take.
Sorry.
All of us are nodding.
Yes.
Yep.
End of
Yeah,
period,
I
end of
mean-
sentence. He's a genius.
Yeah, it's funny. I know it was satirical, but he recently did a one-on-one interview with Ed Sheeran and kind of poked fun at his music. But it is. We say everybody copies everybody. There's obviously influences, but it's so unique. I think the Talking Heads have a very unique sound, and this is one of those start to finish. Just put it on and listen to it and fall into the music. I love this album.
Yeah. Big Country may be one of those like in the running for, one of the best closing songs ever because it's that good. I agree with you guys. So
Who produced this album?
hold on.
Is it Brian Eno?
It is
I think,
Brian Eno.
I think Eno did. Yes.
Yeah. He also produced my third
Oh.
pick.
That feels like a pretty good segue.
Do we want to go with my third?
Sure.
Okay. I've got Devo coming in with their first album. Is it Q? Question. Are we not men? Answer. We are Devo.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
You're good. Thank you. I promised you guys I would not go on this giant tangent about Ohio, but obviously Devo is from Northeast Ohio. They were going to Kent State, and they, the couple guys, the main guy, God, I gotta look this up. The story is pretty cool. Well, it's actually really sad. They were hippies, and then the Kent State massacre, Kent State shooting happened in 1970. When we're recording this, in 2 days is the anniversary. So May the 4th, pretty easy one to remember. But one of his friends was killed in that shooting, and he decided that he was no longer a hippie, and his new outlook on life was basically that society was regressing, devoid of evolution, which is what Devo is short for. Long story short, he was a musician, but he was more of an artist. He was an art student, and he started wearing these janitorial costumes with the cheap toy masks, like riot gear type masks for kids. Just this kind of crazy, weird, funky stuff, and making films and having music go along with it. And they started playing down in Columbus and started playing up in Ann Arbor. And they were starting to get some recognition and adding new members. And then one of their films, Bowie saw at the Ann Arbor Film Festival. And David Bowie was slotted to produce their first album. Things happened. He wasn't able to do it, but Brian Eno actually produced their first album. And most of it was recorded in Cologne, Germany, which is kind of strange, but I think that was kind of the scene. Things going on at the time, but they cover the Rolling Stones' Satisfaction on this album. That's a really fun song for me, their take on it. Musically, it's probably not the most polished album ever. It's fun music for me. I would say Jocko Homo, A Mongoloid is good. Space Junk is fun. It's Devo. You know what you're getting with them. It's kind of off the wall. It's different. It's got a good punk vibe. Early on, they had taken apart a synthesizer, like deconstructed a synthesizer and made an early version of a drum machine out of it, which I thought was pretty cool. And they were using that before they had live drummers, just the way they had it set up. But I think this is just a fun album for me. And I love Ohio. I'm looking for artists from Ohio. This is a good one.
I've got some Ohio for you. So the thing about this album for me, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I'm watching MTV, today's MTV, with my then teenage kids. And
yeah,
there was a show in there called Robin Big, and then a show called Fantasy Factory. And Rob Dyrdek from Ohio.
Yeah.
On Fantasy Factory, he's about to release this new show called Ridiculousness, which now has about 15,000 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, MTV is that show and another one just on loop. And so on Fantasy Factory, he gets with Devo, I think Mark Mothersbaugh probably specifically, and they record a version of Uncontrollable Urge for the theme song for Ridiculousness. And so when you hear the yeah, it's actually Rob Dyrdek on that on the opening of the show. Anytime I think of that song now, I actually think about my kids because they were all so enamored by Rob Dyrdek, and I kind of became too. Like the Robin Big show was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Fantasy Factory was great. So, yeah, I'm just not a huge Devo fan, but I get
it. Not for everyone.
But I get them. I've seen some interviews with Mark Mothersbaugh, because he's kind of the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know is it the brother that's in the band too? Or
yeah.
What? Okay. I've seen some interviews with him, and he's a very interesting guy, super smart, like very, very smart. So I really enjoyed the interviews and whatnot. It's just not my kind of music. But that said, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it for what it is. It's just not what I'm going to listen to. What do you think, Clint?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just listening to yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
I don't listen to a lot of Devo. I mean, hell, they're so iconic.
yeah.
I don't have much to add to what you all have already shared. I thought that was pretty good backstory. I like Whip It. Who doesn't like that song? But I think this is the flavor of Devo that I would enjoy more, this album.
Yeah.
What I've heard of it. So, yeah, good pick.
The Mongoloid's a really good song to me. I love that song.
Yeah.
Obviously, this band's influential.
And another debut album on the list, right?
Yeah.
I think we're up to 4 now. We're going to have another one, 4 or 5. Any more there, Clint?
No, I don't think I could add any more. You guys covered that one very well.
Okay.
Do you want me to share the Nick Saban reference?
Sure.
You guys are SEC guys, so Nick Saban, he's a big churchgoer, and he was actually at Kent State at the time of the massacre as well. He notes that he traveled the hill where it happened on a regular basis, and he just happened to not be there at the same time. One of his classmates was killed in the shooting, and he kind of notes his faith being as strong as it is, being tied to that moment and his time at Kent State.
Clint,
Oh, man.
what's your number 2, man?
All right. Hey, let's do more debut albums, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Number 2 on my list.
Okay.
Is the debut album.
Hang on, time out. This will be our last song covered tonight, won't it?
Yeah, it will be.
This is our last one because it's me and Josh's number 1. You're taking a deuce on our number 1, dude.
Brah.
Dookie Bomb.
Good, you go ahead.
I don't even know where to start.
I've had a long week, man. I just needed to
I
be
know,
silly
it's
for a
funny.
second.
And coming in at number 2, let's go with another debut album by The Cars. The Cars debut album. And that's on your all's list too, right?
Number 1.
Number 1.
Okay.
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Clint.
That's okay, Shaq. You can just dunk the basketball and push me to the ground. That's fine. I love it. It made number 2. I mean, shit.
Shaq needs a Kobe, right?
Yeah, that's right. I hated those Laker teams. Sorry, Rich. I've loved the Cars a long time. This is such a guy. I sound like a broken record on these. No pun intended. All of these are great albums, right? But the Cars just mean so much to me. I got their music like early on, like it made sense to me, even as a little kid when Heartbeat City came out, like 84, maybe. And MTV, all you saw was You Might Think or Drive. And I remember being a kid seeing that. And so I was hooked then. And it wasn't until later that I discovered this album, but this is their best album, in my opinion, easily. Good Times Roll, just what I needed. At the time, when Smashing Pumpkins released Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, they issued a box set of their singles called The Aeroplane Flies High. At that time, man, anytime the Pumpkins released anything, I'm buying it that day. And I had that thing immediately, and they covered You're All I've Got Tonight. And God, it's a really good cover. My Best Friend's Girl is on this album. Jeez, this album is so good. Moving in Stereo is on the side B. I'll jump in. This is your all number 1. Jump in. Josh, go.
Yeah, and this is another Ohio reference, right? Ocasek graduated from Maple Heights up in Cleveland. His dad was working at NASA. Unfortunately, he didn't break in Ohio. They moved to Boston, added a member or two, switched some things around. They were getting some play. OSU campus. I remember seeing the videos when I was a kid, right, of the Cars, and I remember it, but I don't, it wasn't like, oh, this is what I want to listen to. I wasn't really buying music then either. So for me, this is an album start to finish. There's not a bad song at all. If I had to pick one song that is just okay to me, would be I'm in Touch with Your World. But everything else for me is just a banger, as they call it. I love this album. I think it reminds me so much of my youth, but takes me to another place. And it's easy for me to just get caught up in the music. Ocasek, he's brilliant. He's in so much influence on like Weezer producing albums and stuff that he's done. I love this album. It's so good.
Yeah, so of course the first three songs were the three singles: Good Times Roll, Best Friend's Girl, and Just What I Needed. And I agree with you about I'm in Touch with Your World. So basically the rest of the album could have been singles too. And here's what's
Yeah.
wild is they kind of ended up that way in history, because everybody knows You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, and Moving in Stereo. All three of those songs are on rotation on the radio, like terrestrial radio. You hear them if you turn on the classic rock radio station, you hear those songs, sometimes more than the ones that were hits. It's just that it's one of those records. Moving in Stereo is one of my favorite songs by them, like of any of their songs. I have a special place in my heart for Just What I Needed because our band covered it for a while. And we had to quit covering it because you have to have a good drummer for that with really good timing. And our first three drummers could do it just fine. And then we had one that, no, we're never going to be able to do that song with him. And it's a fun song to do, and everybody knows it. It's one of those. But I'm 6 when this came out. My parents they weren't Cars fans then. I think my dad probably started to get into him a little bit with the 80s stuff. But I do remember hearing it on the radio all the time, especially like Good Times Roll. That was always on the radio, it seemed like. That's like a memory of being in a car, hearing that song that's just seared into my brain. And for years, too. That's the other thing. These songs were... The radio was so different in the 70s and 80s. Like, just because a song is 3 or 4 years old doesn't mean they're going to quit playing it. If it's a good song, it still gets in there somehow. So, yeah, it's one of those, it's just an all-timer, man. I was looking, and you know how Rolling Stone does their 500 greatest albums of all time and all that? It's probably properly rated, but on that list, they are currently... So when they did the first one in 2003, it was at 282. Feels low. Then when they did it in 2012, it was 284. And in the 2020 update, it's all the way down to 353. And I know that a lot of people dropped in that 2021 because they started to give a little more credence to hip hop and some other genres that didn't get a lot of love. But man, this feels like a top 200 to me. And it's never even been there. And it just tells you how much good music's out there, I guess.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
even the 282 felt low. When I saw that it was in the list, which I knew it would be, I was like, oh, it's got to be like 150 or something. Nope. Yeah, it's wild.
You said it's Rolling Stone?
Yeah, the Rolling Stone 500 Greatest. Yeah, it's just one of those records and songs that it sounds like my childhood because I was 6 and it was on the radio all the time. We can start thinking about some of our honorable mentions.
Josh, I'll let you go first.
Okay. I have a couple. Van Halen, you already hit on. The Who. Their last, Who Are You? Their last album with Keith Moon. I know y'all aren't huge The Who fans, right?
What?
Not
Did I say that
incorrect.
wrong?
No, we both love The Who.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised. Are they an honorable mention for anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, Cheap Trick. I love that album. Who else? The Clash with their sophomore album.
Yeah, that's a good list of honorable mentions. Like Clint said, though, it's what a year.
Like the music.
I'm speaking for all of us, but it feels like the three of us trying not to go chalk all the time in these really good years. And I think that's probably 10 years ago, The Who would have probably been my number one. But especially these late 70s, I just appreciate more of what was different because it set things up for when I was really coming of age with music.
Yeah.
London Town by Wings was this year. It's not a great album, but it's got With a Little Luck on it, which is an amazing McCartney song.
Oh, it's a great song.
Yep. Styx Pieces of Eight was out. Let's see, what was the big? I know they had to have at least one or two hits from there.
They had Renegade on that album.
Okay, Renegade, which is a fantastic song.
Blue Collar Man.
You had a Rush album that year there, Clint.
Hemispheres. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like maybe a month ago, this episode's been talked about and delayed a few times. So maybe a month ago, Hemispheres was in my top 5. That's got the Trees, La Via Strangiato, which there's great YouTube videos about these guys that listen to that for the first time and they're just blown away. But yeah, it's still not yet into my favorite era of Rush. But some of my honorable mentions. And this
All right,
album come up there a couple of years ago for me is Excitable Boy by Warren Zevon. So for a long time, like Werewolves of London used to annoy me, but it's grown on me.
And then Kid Rock sampled it, and you love it.
No, shut up. Shut your mouth.
You listened to it all summer long, didn't you?
Oh, my God. But the real gem of this album is Lawyers, Guns, and Money. Oh, my God. That's such a great song. Went home with the waitress the way I always do. How was I to know? She was with the Russians, too.
So this was the debut album for Dire Straits. This is the record with Sultans of Swing on it, and my mother played that on repeat, just picking the needle up and putting it back over and over and over again. I can't play that guitar solo on a guitar, but I can do it like nobody's business with my mouth because I've heard it so many times. Anyway, it's a decent enough record. I've gone back and listened to it, and I'm like, well, okay. I'm not a real big fan. Knopfler's a great guitar player, but I've decided I'm not a real big fan of that music.
Yeah.
Horner had Double Vision this year in 78. That was a good one.
Yeah, the Doobie Brothers, Minute by Minute. What a Fool Believes is on that record. So,
Yep.
Yeah. I pretty much covered mine. Honorable mentions. Great year for music.
I hear Minute by Minute, and I'm thinking about 40-Year-Old Virgin because I'm pretty sure wasn't that one of the songs that played on the? Wasn't he doing I don't know.
Probably was. They were watching a Michael McDonald live DVD the whole time.
Freaking kills me. If I hear Yamo be there one more time, I'm gonna Yamo burn this place. I love that. Paul Rudd, God, so good in that. Genesis, Clint.
Yeah. Not my favorite album.
Then there were 3. Yeah, they couldn't figure it out yet.
What about King Jazz?
Yeah, that's
Fat Bottom Girls.
That's another good record.
Oh my God, we went this long and didn't even talk about that album.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Clint, Follow You, Follow Me is a really good song, though.
It is a good song.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's just about the only one. Snowbound's pretty good, too. But I agree with you. They hadn't figured out being all by themselves yet. All right, well, that was 1978. Guys, that was fun. I'm proud of us for not going on and on for about 3 hours. We did really well. I'm super proud.
I'm proud of you, too.
Yeah. We're out here living life, having a hard time, but we can keep it tight on the podcast. Josh, thanks for joining us. It's always fun to have you. And we'll pick another year.
Your musical hot takes are welcome here, sir.
Even if I say,
even when they're cold fish.
Yeah.
What if I start handing out Stewies?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, if I could get a hold of some of those old blog posts, I'd piss myself laughing at it. Seriously. Oh my God. That's the thing, man. He's great. He could write really funny stuff. It's just, I can't even describe it. Maybe Amma needs to listen to this. I'm going to try to coerce him. I don't even know if he knows what a podcast is. He's stuck in another time. It's crazy.
Does he still live back home?
No, he moved to Middle Tennessee Manchester's where he lives. Home of Bonnaroo.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, lifelong friend. Amma, you should listen. Hope you're listening. Tell us
Come-
what you think.
come
You wanna
talk about-
on?
Thank you all for listening. Obviously, you know where to find us, and thank you. So, next in the series will be 1979. So, everybody start looking. See if you can figure out what we're going to pick. So, yeah, thanks everybody. We're going to get out of here. Peace and love.